I've been in the PPC space for 6 years, since 2017. Hear people yelling, "Oh, Mr. Tacos." And
How
then,
do you
yeah,
feel that you have a big change? Because it's a big
the
change.
every change that I've done has actually led to something better. You're
Are you
gonna,
talking about videos that you're making
yes.
to advertise or videos from like user-generated content? Should we include into this video just one product that we are advertising, or should we include multiple products?
So I'm a big believer in automating things that can be automated, but still checking. YouTube's AI has already figured out that's the one that's going to grab the most attention from the watcher. So
Really?
ads are just for repetition. The more you see an ad, you remember it, and then you go and you buy it when you need it.
Amazon sees that your product is making the biggest conversion comparing to your competitors, then Amazon is letting you be on a like to take all the placements on the page in addition to your organic rank. Hello, everyone. Izabella Ritz on Amazon Made Simple podcast, and I'm your host. And today, it's a second time interview with Vince Montero. Situation change, time flies, and sometimes we're
It does.
seeing the coincidences or circumstances that we're not ready to face. And as you can see, he got the new logo on his corner where you're like looking here or here. And it's very interesting how everything happened because Vince was for a while, he was working with Helium 10 for 3.5 years, if I'm not mistaken. And
Almost.
he also he also cracked algorithm of Amazon to find out how it's better to work with PPC and how to actually launch the products and make PPC happen. And beside um, Vince, I know only one person who's been able to do so, and it's Mina Elias. And now those two people came up together. How all this happened and why Vince left Helium 10 and how he joined one of the biggest PPC company in the industry. We're about to find out. Vince, welcome to Amazon Made Simple podcast.
Thank you so much for having me back. It's always great to see you. Sad we missed you at Prosper, but happy to see you here.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Prosper today a little bit too. So first is my curiosity and curiosity of a lot of people. What happened with Helium 10? Why did you leave them?
Yeah.
And it's such a great, big, huge company. So what happened?
Yeah. So I've been in the PPC space for 6 years, since 2017. And so when I came on board at Helium 10 at that time, late 2019, they didn't have a PPC tool. And so that's why they brought me on. Again, I've been running PPC for clients, specifically solely Amazon PPC. God, it's been 6 years. So I was doing everything manually and had spreadsheets and everything. And so I was able to take all that learning and understanding and help them create their first version of their PPC tool. And then that iterated over, 3 years. And, things change, different investments or investors come into the different companies, different acquisitions are made. And there's also, I believe, as we know, for watching the news, tech companies are being a little bit wary about, the potential for a recession. So unfortunately, that led to some cuts that they had to make before the end of 2022, and I got caught up in that, unfortunately. So it was bittersweet, because I went there, I built a tool, a PPC tool, Adtomic, which is the last time I was here. That's what we talked about. So if you guys want to learn about Helium 10's PPC tool that I helped build, you can watch the last episode or listen to it. And I'm very, very proud of that. And I still use it. So I have a great working relationship still with everyone at Helium 10. I'm still using the PPC tool that I helped build. I'm still running my clients through that tool because, of course, I'm a little
Of course,
biased.
you're the one who built it, and you know how it works. You know where is the golden nugget there, so you can actually
Yes.
crack the system to make it
Yes.
work.
Yes, yes. And now, I took a couple months off. I traveled. I went to Hawaii at the beginning of the year and just basically chilled out for 2 weeks. Did yoga, did meditation, hiked a lot. Went to the top of a mountain and watched the sunset above the clouds, which was amazing. And then, yeah, Mina Elias, yeah, who you mentioned, runs Trivium Group, which is a PPC agency, and he reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to come and continue your work of producing content and training, which is really what I got to be mostly known for at Helium 10 was the marketing and training. Most people probably won't know, or they probably don't know that I actually helped build the tool. I'm not a developer. I just told the developers what was needed. So um, they just know me from my
As
Tacos
you should,
Tuesdays. Right.
as you should, and everybody knows your Tacos Tuesday. That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, so Tacos Tuesday was my kind of like my baby, and tacos for totally it cost, not just the food. And I kind of got known. It's funny. I used to walk around the conferences and like Prosper, and I would hear people yelling, "Oh, Mr. Tacos!" And then I would
Really,
yeah, they would know me from
that's
from the
funny.
from the series, from the training sessions, and I would say, "No, that's Sir Tacos to you," right? So it kind of stuck. So now I'm doing Sir Tacos Tuesday with Trivium Group. The last Tuesday of every single month, I basically revived it earlier this year. So it's been great.
That's so cool. You're doing Taco Tuesdays. We're doing
Yeah,
Tactical Tuesdays. So it's TT's
it
TT's
is.
Tuesdays. So it's like, yeah.
Yes, love it.
That sounds great. So when you switch the companies and after you've been meditating and you had a lot of reasons to meditate, how do you feel about the change? A lot of people have a fear to change something. A lot of people like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm scared to change something in my life,
sure.
and because something different will comes out, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. So how do you
Yeah,
feel that you have a big change? Because it's a big
the
change.
it is, it is. The safety of, a regular paycheck and having your insurance paid for, at least mostly. It's a big deal. So I had that safety net for almost 3.5 years. But before that, I was a consultant. So I kind of already went from, solopreneur working as a consultant, then for a few years, and I was with a company before that, a mobile marketing company. Um, so I had a couple years that I was consulting. So, but even still, the fear of the unknown it's a big deal. That is literally something that can stifle people for a long time and kind of lead them to making wrong decisions. So as soon as I realized that I was having this fear of the unknown, I again meditated about it, and during Hawaii took some time off
On top of the mountain.
on
Yeah, I
top of a
got it.
mountain.
Feel
It was
jealous
freezing.
about it.
There was actually well, don't be. There was snow. It was so high up on top of the mountain on the Big Island. There was actually snow. So I was in a parka. But as soon as I recognized it, I'm like, okay, what's happening right now? It's like, oh, it's the fear of the unknown. Um, and then I kind of just had to realize that I mean I've been in several different roles in my adult career, and every change that I've done has actually led to something better. Um, and once I made that realization, I just said, okay, I'm going to be fine. If I decide to work for a company again, I'll be fine. If I decide to go work for myself again, I'm going to be fine. Like, even if I chose two different directions, I'm still going to be fine. So, at the end of the day, there's really nothing to be afraid of. And being afraid of the future is kind of weird because number one, you could get hit by a bus tomorrow, and there's
At the end of
there's
the day, we're all dead. So it
at the
doesn't
end
matter. Like if you,
at
right?
the end of the day, all we have is right now, right? So I just said to myself, what's the best that I can do right now? And so when Mina gave me the offer to continue, to consult with him on content, I was like, that's really cool. I'm going to be able to continue helping people, which is one of my biggest loves, is really just serving people in this space. And I got to do that it's why I went to Helium 10, because again, I was a consultant before. I loved what I was doing with my handful of clients, which I still have. But I was like, God, Helium 10 would allow me to really help a lot of people all at the same time. Um, so that's why I made that particular move. But to work with Nina now for Trivium and continue that work of sharing, strategies and tactics that I'm learning that I still work through on my own clients. I still have a good relationship with Amazon, so they send me things that are coming up and coming out. So
Look at you. So
I'm
you have connections with internal team on Amazon.
oh yeah. Well, I don't know if I should share that, but yeah. Well, so
Well,
think
you
about it.
just
So
did. Your
yeah.
subconscious is working
Well,
outside of your consciousness.
yeah. Well, at Helium 10, obviously they have a good partnership with Amazon Ads. And I was basically in charge of the Amazon ads for Helium 10. So yeah, I got really, really good relationships with some of the people there. And they actually they would call me sometimes to say, they would have me in product calls, basically saying, this is what we're thinking about building out for Amazon ads. What do you think? So yeah, so it's been it's good that I had that time at Helium 10, or else I wouldn't have all the
The
contacts that I have
access to,
either.
yeah, the relation. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
everything we're going through is, we can always have the very good outcome that helps us to move forward with
it all
some
depends on how you look at it, right?
benefits. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
correct. So
perspective.
because you're already talking about Amazon and relationship and all this interesting stuff, I know that you went to Prosper that I missed personally. So I also heard that you learned some very nice strategies about PPC and how to run
Yeah,
PPC. So
yeah.
if you don't mind, can you please share it here? Because again,
Sure.
all of us, we want to be updated and we want to know what is going on and how to increase our sales. And on Amazon, one of the ways, the best way is to run correct PPC, right
Yeah,
PPC. So what did
exactly.
you learn?
Yeah. PPC advertising is probably one of the most important levers, for an Amazon seller to master. Mina's last episode on your show was kind of like, I think, kind of like PPC beginner tactics. So what I'm going to share is a little bit more advanced, but hopefully people will understand what I'm going to share. But the biggest thing that I like talking about, I had a LinkedIn post recently about this. Amazon's doing major investments with video. So if you're searching on Amazon right now, you might start to see video used to just appear in the middle of the page. I'm seeing it now in the middle of the page and the bottom of the page. So two video placements for search results, sometimes even into the second page. Amazon recently, and I learned this at Prosper, you can now put video in your A plus content. So, on your product detail page, the very creative area and section that you can really, which you should build up to make your product detail page, your listing more attractive. You can put video now there. It used to be you could put it just in your store, right? And obviously on the listing itself too as a option. There's 5 spaces now that you can use for video on the product detail page. So again, that's a strategy. Just make more videos because you're
Are you
gonna.
talking about videos that you're making
Yes.
to advertise, or videos from like user generated content?
No, videos that you make yourself really are the ones that you can add to your product detail page.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, UCG you can't really add to your product detail page. You can use those types of creatives more on the store. Um, so anyway, long story short, Amazon's continuing to iterate on video. So the cool thing that I learned about, besides the couple of tips I just shared, was that you can now have the video placement right below the search bar. So you're doing a search on Amazon and you see a video right there, and so it already is. It's a sponsored brand position. Typically, it's a creative and 3 products, right? You see 3 products. Sometimes there's 2 products. That just means one of the products went out of stock. But it's an ad that's right at the top. Used to be called headline search ad because it looks like a headline banner. Um, so now, not only you have the option to have your multiple products there, and maybe a lifestyle creative there, but you can actually now have video there. So super powerful
We can
placement.
create it from Amazon brand store, correct? So when you're creating the campaign, you are going to sponsor, you're going to create
Yeah, so this is
display.
someone that
Right.
this is someone that is brand registered. So you have to be a brand registered seller to do this type of
Yeah.
campaign type. That opens up sponsor brand campaigns, sponsor display campaigns. Um, and it is a brand new video ad type. So even if you're already running video, you still have to you have to create a new video ad, which is eh, it's Amazon, so of course they're going to make things a little bit more challenging for these new types of ad types. But there's two requirements. You have to have a store. So this, in order to have this video to show up right at the top, right below the search bar, you have to have it go to a store. So again, if you don't have a store, you can't use this tactic. Everyone that's listening right now, if you're a seller and you don't have a store, you need to have one, even if it's just a basic homepage that has, your products on it. Very, very important. So
Well,
that's
without
required.
store, generally speaking, I will just jump quickly here,
Yeah.
guys. If you don't have store and you're selling on Amazon, it's a crime. So it's a lot of no's and it's no yeses if you don't have a store, because if you don't have a store means you don't have a brand registry. Without brand
Right.
registry, you cannot sell on Amazon, because a lot of future issues that you will face for a fact. So
Yeah.
if
Brand.
you didn't register your trademark, please do it right now. And you can follow Rich Galstein under this video. We will send you the link. So just go to him. He will, he's not the sponsor. We just love him, and he's doing
Yeah, he's
brand
wonderful.
registry without any headaches. So
Yeah,
please,
brand registry does
yeah,
so many things, but the thing I know
correct.
most about, obviously, is the different PPC campaigns that open up once you are brand registered. So yeah, so that's the requirement. You have to direct the video to a store, which is new. You couldn't do that really before. The video would just go to the product detail page. And you have to create an ad group. Whatever reason, Amazon is they added the ability to have multiple ad groups within a sponsored brand ad. Doesn't make sense to me, because the way I teach and the way Mina teaches, the way we set up our campaigns, is only one ad group per campaign anyway. So, but
I
regardless,
am with you at this too.
yeah, it's best practices, one campaign, one ad group. So,
Yeah, you cannot marry multiple person. It's illegal. So the same way is here. You have to have right?
I love that analogy. Well, I don't know. In some parts of the country, maybe.
Maybe.
Depends on where you live. But yeah, it's best practices is just one campaign, one ad group, because that you have more control, right? And Mina went over that quite well in one of his last episodes with you. So that's the requirement. It has to go to a store, and the campaign has to have an ad group. So if you're already running video
Uh,
campaigns, that's great.
Vince, can you
Just
please
launch it.
clarify here a little bit for the
Yeah,
listeners? So when we're talking about the video campaign for Amazon
yeah.
store, should we include into this video just one product that we are advertising, or should we include multiple products that we have in our store?
Yeah. So if you've got a product that has multiple variations, like maybe colors, I think that's a smart thing to do, is to maybe show the same product, but the different colors in the video. And then you can actually go to the store and see, oh, here's all the colors that I can order. Um, Multiple products. No, I wouldn't. Because if you think about the videos, well, best practices for video is short. People's attention spans are very, very short these days, especially with now the advent of TikTok. People's attentions are very short. So you need to get the bulk of your messaging. You need to show your product right away, which I have another tip on. You need to show at least 3 benefits and features minimum. And if possible, you need to do that within 10 to 15 seconds. So you have a very short window of time to showcase, to get people's attention to then go to your store. Once they're on the store, right, you can have other video that can showcase your multiple products. Absolutely. So when you think about video in general, each video is a different kind of funnel. The video that's on your product listing, on the side with the images, or now below the main image on your, that is to spark interest, right? The ad, like the video ads that I'm talking about, are really just to grab the user's attention as quick as you possibly can, so that they are interested enough to go click on click on it and go to your detail page or go to your store. So you have to think about videos where they're at kind of differently, because they really are different funnels. And that's kind of a more advanced strategy as well, as think about your videos as separate funnels depending on where you're going to be putting them in Amazon. Um, so what I wanted to say real quick, A/B testing, super important, because if you're already running video ads and you launch this new video ad, now the tricky part is that there's no just because you create the new video ad and you have the ad group and you have it directed to a store, it doesn't mean 100% of the time that it's going to show up at that top of search placement. And Amazon doesn't have any reporting yet for that particular placement. But for me, it's kind of a no-brainer that you just do it, because the visibility that you're going to get for that placement, especially think on your mobile phone. You're on your mobile phone, and a lot of people are buying on their mobile now, right? Do a search and they see a video right away. That's super powerful, and it auto
It is
plays.
because it takes actually like one third, I believe, almost half of your screen. Depends on like what size of your screen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so super powerful placement. Just test it out and compare it against your existing video ads. Always test when new creative comes
Any
out. If you
any advice how people supposed to go about the beginning of the video? The first couple seconds to catch an attention.
this is a good segue to my next tip. So this is again a little bit more advanced, and this is about if you've already been running video campaigns for quite some time, or any campaign type for quite some time, there's a strategy that I want to share that touches on the beginning of the video. If you have data and you're looking at it and you're seeing sales from some long tail keywords. So let's say you're selling luggage in carry on, whatever, and you see that you're getting a lot of sales from black carry on foldable luggage, right? And you see the word foldable or folding in quite a few long tail keywords, 3 or 4 key search terms from a shopper, and you're seeing pretty good sales at a low A cost. But you realize, oh, I don't even have that foldable feature in my video or creative. You can even talk about creative for this. You can literally create a custom video or custom creative that just showcases the foldable aspect of that piece of luggage, for example, at the beginning of the video, and launch campaigns specific to those keywords. And basically you have guaranteed sales. So yeah, it takes a little work, because if you're already running video, then you got to tweak it and you got to maybe add the foldable part to the beginning. Or
Indeed.
let's say you do have the foldable part, but it's at the end. Because like I said before, minimum 3 benefits and features, right? So the best way to start your video is show it right away, or show your product right away, show a person using it right away, and then highlight 3 benefits and features. That's the best way to start it. But you can literally look at data you already have and say, oh, and you should be doing this. You should be looking at what kind of search terms are selling, for you on a regular basis. And you can just create custom, for sponsor brand, sponsor display, create a custom image with the foldable aspect showing whatever the
I
feature
love
is,
it.
right? And then
I love
you
it
hit
because
create
generally speaking,
campaigns.
yeah, when you're going through the search, we everything is about relevancy. So I'm looking for the
Yes.
foldable bag. I see
Yes.
foldable bag. Other sellers are not showing foldable bag, and here is the video starting with folding the bag.
Yes.
So it's amazing. And the person that like same hand, same people doing the same stuff that
Yeah.
I can identify myself there.
Yeah. Because you could, and you should do this. You should try to, let's say you're brand new to video and you don't have this data, right? You should try to think of, okay, what do I think the top 3 benefits and features are? You should film that, or you should highlight that in lifestyle imagery. But you could be wrong. So you really got to look at your data to figure out, ooh, what stuff is actually selling, or what terms are actually creating sales, and then pinpoint that with custom creative or custom video. Yes, it's a little bit of extra work, but you're pretty much guaranteed to get additional sales because you've got the data that proves it already.
Correct.
Um,
Correct.
yeah. So those are
I
that's the
love
most
this.
powerful thing
Absolutely. I
that
love
that
this,
I've
and
been
I love these
sharing.
ideas
Yeah.
and advice that you're sharing here because all this stuff, guys, works. Genuinely speaking, if you will take a look, what was working in targeting and advertisement 10 years ago, or when we've been starting, we started I think 19 or 20 years ago to like run these ads. The strategies are pretty much the same because people are looking into their relevancy. The
Mhm.
technology today is different. So people are
Mhm.
still the same. People are reacting to the same stuff. People want to
Absolutely.
see what they're looking for. but the amount of technologies you can implement these days is huge. So generally speaking, Amazon today is telling you you can use videos, you can use pictures, you can use creatives, you can use selling copywriting and yada yada yada. It's on
Mhm.
you if you want to use it or if you don't, or you're like you can keep struggling like with conversion, why my video is not conversion, or why I don't have enough of sales. But if you will use everything Vince just verbate, so you can increase your sales pretty fast and pretty easy.
Yeah.
And what do you think
Mhm.
about all these ais that are going around, and a lot of us
Uh,
are trying to, already annoyed at some point, like AI here, AI there. Rich Galskin said recently, he said, I believe I will lose my job soon. However, we still have some time still, because we still need people to use it, and we still need people to create it.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
is there any AIs that can help with PPC and Amazon, like based on your perspective?
So I'm a big believer in uh, automating things that can be automated, but still checking, right? Um,
Of course.
I've had to, again, I work with clients directly, and I've had to unwind quite a handful of clients' accounts from softwares that say they're 100% automated. Um, and Atomic, the tool that I helped build, yeah, there's automations in there, but I still wouldn't call it AI, right? It's basically looking at data. Let's say for keyword bids, for example, it's looking at data, it's changing a bid, and then it's waiting for, let's say, 7 days or a period of time, then looking again and looking at the result, and then making the bid adjustments. But there's tons of different variables that happen outside that I don't think AI is going to truly ever to be able to capture, like if you run out of stock, if your product got delisted, if it's a seasonal product, and of course, you're selling swim trunks in June, but you're not selling them in January, right? It's like there's tons of different outside influences that I truly think that it's still going to take a person or a team to look at the data and be able to discern, okay, yes, this is happening, this is bad, the ACOS is bad, or the tacos is bad, but it's because this happened, right? So I believe in automating as much as you can, but I also think that there should be somebody, at the helm, at least watching the machine
Yeah.
to do what it does. So I'm still learning about things like ChatGPT, and there is some interesting things that you can do with that as far as like building listings and things like that. That I'm learning about, looking at reviews and seeing, extrapolating the good stuff and the bad stuff. But the thing that I learned that I thought was quite interesting at Prosper, and it kind of relates to what we were talking about with like custom creative, is using AI to kind of really tell you ahead of time what creative is actually going to be the most effective to the shopper. So there are services out there like PickFu that excuse me, that have users that will just log on and look at the images and rate them. But you can use AI too to do. There's some, again, paid services out there, and it'll tell you, out of these 3 or 4 images or however many you have, it'll use, heat map technology is what it's called, and it identifies where the human eye, like what is it drawn to the most, right? So if you have that kind of information ahead of time, it's interesting because you can build that into your creative if it's static, or maybe you use that as the opening shot of your video, right? Or the still for your video, so ahead of time, oh, this AI says that the person's going to look at this particular area of my ad, or this one's the most attractive. So yeah, there are a few different services that are out there.
What is the
Um,
name of those AIs that can help to do so?
I believe the one that I was looking at in the session was from Zyro.com, and there was some images that they showed. But the interesting thing was that I also learned you can use for free, right? You could just use YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and you upload your video, YouTube has AI as well, and it shows you typically before you launch it. It gives you suggestions for your thumbnail. So your thumbnail image, which is the static image on the video, it's a part of your video. So YouTube scans the entire video and then gives you a couple of different options, and it always highlights one. There's always the first, second, and third option. So whatever that first option is, YouTube's AI has already figured out that's the one that's going to grab the most attention from the watcher. So
Really?
yeah, so that you could just use that as your thumbnail image for your video. You don't even have to post your video to YouTube, right? I'm not, because obviously I'm talking about Amazon. I'm just saying you can use the YouTube creator, the video creator, to scan your video, and it'll tell you this still from your video is what you should use as your thumbnail image, and that's
Why
free.
we're
And then you
creating all these thumbnails then? I have the whole team of like my media team that is working thumbnails when we can just trust YouTube,
just go
right?
just go
Okay,
to
so
YouTube,
now I'm going.
upload your video, and it'll tell you use this image, and then you don't have to post it. I mean, actually do post your videos to YouTube, so you can actually
Yeah,
reference this. But what I'm saying is you can leverage the same information for, the still for your creative, for your custom creative on Amazon, or the static image for your video before it plays, or the first image maybe of the video that starts to play to grab the shopper's attention. So I thought that was a quite an interesting hack, um, just to use
this is
Amazon or
amazing hack.
YouTube's AI for free.
Yeah, because like we're working with YouTube for a while. I never knew that those three placements are based on the actual YouTube scanning. But
Yep.
it's guys, just this piece of advice is like worth it to watch the whole and listen for the whole podcast today. So um, thank you for that.
You're
Um,
welcome. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
So
making some. I was taking some notes. Yeah,
yeah,
keep
yeah.
going. Keep going with the
Yeah,
yeah.
no, no. So again, it all goes back to kind of what you were saying is, custom creative, custom videos. The more you can do that, you're going to get ahead. You're going to get ahead of your competition, right? If your closest competitors are doing this and you're not, you're going to get left behind eventually. So, and the one thing I want to note, is that video, it can be intimidating for newer sellers that have never done it, but it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be a commercial. Obviously, if it is commercial style, it might grab more attention, but get in the game and just some static images and some nice little music in the background. There's plenty of tools out there that are like plug and play. Like Animoto.com is a really good one, where it's just kind of, you use their templates. It's like Squarespace for websites. You can build creatives, and lots of different tools out there. And Amazon even has their own video builder. At least I
Did
think
you
it's
use
now.
it at least once?
I haven't used it yet, but it's very similar to Animoto, which I used to talk to a lot and work with. But it's a simple concept. It's just templates, and yeah, of course you have to take images of your product and stuff, but you should have all those already, right? So you just upload them into the video builder, put some words, find some music, and then use that as a video to test. So don't wait. Basically, is what I'm saying, to test some of these. When you have the budget to do more advanced styles of videos, then yeah, sure, do it at that time, but don't wait.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So for the listeners who've been just now going through like 30 something minutes and consuming all the information you've been providing to us, it's actually golden. Uh, some of them would decide to go to you and ask you questions in private, like,
Sure.
Vince, that was great. So can you tell me more? Are you open to provide more advice and more recommendations for other people? Or you're like,
Absolutely.
just I'm going on a podcast and that's it. This is
No,
everything
no,
else
no,
you
no,
can
no.
learn.
Yeah,
Here
so
or never.
no, no, I'm definitely doing a lot more content and posting things on LinkedIn, and I see people's questions and I respond to them. Obviously, my monthly training sessions are live, and so people can come on those and ask questions live
Is
at
that
the end of
free or
each
it's
month.
paid?
It's free. It's
It is free.
just yeah. So if you follow Trivium Group, obviously, I work with Mina and the Trivium team. We're producing a lot of content. So follow the social media. Our Instagram feed is our YouTube feed. That we're always putting out new stuff. The links will be below. So
Yeah.
follow those. Hopefully, definitely want to include the Instagram, because that's I do a lot of reels now, which is quite fun. So yeah, I do again live Q&A sessions. But if people want to reach out to me directly, they can find me on LinkedIn. I think I'm the only. It's Vincent Montero, but I also put in the Sir Tacos, so it's Vincent Sir Tacos Montero. So if you're not sure if it's
Okay.
me on LinkedIn, you will know if you see that. So definitely connect with me there. You can ask
Did
me
you
questions
verify your
there.
account with Instagram? They recently released the option that you can verify your account and get this blue mark, blue
Oh,
check mark, which I
no, on
did.
Instagram?
Yeah, now
Oh, okay. I
yeah, on
thought that was
Instagram,
Twitter.
now you can be verified. No, no, no. Now you can be verified with the blue check mark, and have
I
your
did not know
verified
that.
account.
I
Yeah,
should
you're
probably do
welcome.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
see?
I got a lot
Something
of
I learned today.
bots and copycats. I'm like, listen, I have to verify it. It's just 14.99.
Yeah.
Instagram, you're welcome for promotion. Meta, sorry.
Well, you're much
Um,
more popular than I am because I don't think I have any accounts that are trying to be me yet, but it's good to get ahead of it.
the moment you'll get a lot of followers, you'll see how it goes. So, Vince, given that you're doing PPC campaigns since 2017, and
Yeah. Hmm.
Amazon keep releasing more and more and more things. What do you think is coming next? I'm not going to say like 2023 or 2024. Like, what would be Amazon next step regarding PPC campaigns? What are we looking at?
I think they're doing a really good job of just more visibility into different metrics. Like they're releasing impression share metrics. There are new brand keyword metrics that they're releasing. So it's metrics that are specific to your branded keywords that I think is interesting. That will be interesting to look at to see what how you can leverage that. On the Amazon Ads console, there's also a product tab, so you can look at all of
Yeah,
your data from the product
campaigns,
from the
one
product
product.
level.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is interesting because that's one of the sections I built into Adtomic a long time ago. And they still haven't, at least last I checked, they still haven't included like the total sales yet or the organic sales. I think they will. I think Amazon is going to realize that tacos is important, or or total ACOS, and I think they're going to kind of more move in that direction, and it makes sense. PPC is very critical to organic sales. Like the more exposure you get from PPC, the likelihood of your organic sales is going to increase because ads are just for repetition. The more you see an ad, you remember it, and then you go and you buy it when you need it. So that's all PPC is, right? It's just the billboard on the side of the road, and you're driving by it
correct.
every day for your work or whatever, your errands, and then all of a sudden you need that and you remember it, and then you go look for it. So number one, I think people would benefit from just viewing PPC from that perspective. It's not meant to make sales. It's meant to create impression. It's meant for repetition. It's meant to get your product to become memorable. The product detail page, once they hit your listing, that is supposed to make the sales. It's not the PPC's job to make the sales. It's the
That's correct.
listing's job to make the sales.
Yeah, it's
And
your
we,
job
we, we
to
can
make
have
people buy it. Yeah,
we could have a whole session just on that aspect alone. But yeah, so I think Amazon's going to realizing that the connection between the PPC and the organic, and I think they're going to start putting out more. Hopefully, I'm kind of putting it out there to the universe that they're going to actually start putting out more data that is related to organic sales or total sales. And of course, they're going to keep doubling down on placements that uh, are really showing imagery, lifestyle imagery, branding aspects, video placements. So I was like, based on this new video type that I just shared with you today, I was searching for a product. There was a video on the top, right underneath the search bar, like I mentioned, you can do now if you create it the way I suggested. There was the video in the middle, and there was a video on the bottom. So it was 3 videos on the search results page.
and here is
Um,
another part. I want to add from like my perspective from what we are noticing as Reach Momentum. When our clients are having the good conversion, and
mhm,
when Trivium was running PPC campaigns, we noticed that like the same ASIN can get placements on top, in the middle, and on the bottom,
yeah,
because Amazon is very so Amazon is about making money, not just for you
exactly,
guys, but for himself. If
for
Amazon
themselves.
sees that Amazon sees that your product is making the biggest conversion comparing to your competitors, then Amazon is letting you be on a like to take all the placements on the page in addition to your organic rank. And
Yeah.
in this case, sometimes you just scroll and it's like the same ASIN, and the buyer doesn't have any other options just to go after your product and not to buy
Yeah.
anyone else. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
there's two mindsets around that. There are those sellers that are very budget conscious, and so they don't like that because they think that it's eating their organic position. For me, especially if it's a brand new product and no one's ever heard of it before, how powerful if, as soon as possible to launch, if you can get multiple placements on the search results page and organic.
correct.
Again, advertising is just impressions. It's just
Yeah.
eyeballs. How many eyeballs can you get to see your tile, right? Your ad amongst all the other tiles of products? The more you can do that, all those little commercials, all those little billboards, that's how you become memorable to a shopper. And they might buy from your organic list ad, they might buy from your PPC ad, but at the end of the day, the PPC is doing its job. So for me personally, as a shopper, I respect that. when I'm looking for a
Me
product
too.
and I see that I see their ad and I see their organic listing pretty high, I'm like, okay, they know what they're doing. So I respect them. And I'm like, even if that product is a little bit more expensive than the closest competitor, I'll buy that one because again, it's maybe because I know behind the scenes all that is involved to do that, but I do respect it. And it's doing its job of grabbing my attention. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a sale.
That sounds great. And also, like when you're being professional and expert at some niche, it's very hard to talk about the same stuff with the perspective of the buyer, because you're most of the times you're not objective, you're subjective. Is I can
Right.
relate myself too. Last question for today, Vince. If you will have to do only one thing till the end of your life, what that would be?
Oh my God. Travel.
Okay,
Yeah, if
that
I could
sounds
just
good.
do
So
nothing, if money was no object in this scenario, I would just travel. I would just travel the world. I love traveling. I've been to,
I love
was it
traveling too.
Machu Picchu last year? I'm going to Mount Uluru in Australia this year. Um, I'm trying to see like lots of places that are known for, they're respected by the local populations as sacred places. So I'm trying to visit sacred places of the world. Is my current quest. But yeah, I would travel.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here today. And to summarize everything we spoke about, there are a lot of golden information about how to run PPC for advanced people, how to go
Mhm,
about creatives video, how you can use YouTube to find out which
mhm.
actual thumbnail will work for you on Amazon as well, and how you're supposed to represent your brand, and how you have to create your PPC campaigns to make sure you're getting enough of sales, and you keep improving and not going to
Mhm.
decrease your conversion rate. So Vince, thank you so much for being with us today. And guys, follow all the links below this video because they are there for you. Thank you, and see you at the next podcast.
All right, thank you.